Hello everyone and welcome to another brand new video. I have done a video on RAM more than a year ago and gaming has moved a lot from then. Games are now coming out with 16GB as recommended memory and you do need a decent amount of memory for video editing and rendering as well. So today let's answer the question about how much RAM or memory do I need for gaming, rendering and other stuff. I remember back in the days I had a PC with 512MB of RAM and it was more than enough. I could play any game that was present at that time and could do anything that was possible. But gaming, video editing and rendering has come a long way since then. So let's talk about how much RAM do you really need. If you're just an average person who surfs the internet, watches movies and listens to music, then 4GB of memory will be more than enough for you. Anything over 2GB of memory should do the job. I wouldn't recommend 2GB of memory anymore as even browsers and small applications now consume a lot more memory compared to older times. So anything over 2 should do the job for you. Now if you're a casual gamer who likes to play a bit of indie games and a few other games here and there, do a bit of Photoshop, then 4GB of memory will still be enough. Still many games run at 4GB of memory in low to medium settings without a problem. Now let's move on to the people who will look to spend a few more on their PC and play the latest games at 1080p high settings. If you're a PC gamer and looking to play most AAA titles, then you should definitely consider getting 8GB of RAM. Most games these days come with a minimum requirements of 8GB of memory. With that being said, still a lot of games run fine with 6GB of memory. But if you're getting a new PC, then there is no point in getting a 2GB and a 4GB RAM. Also, prices of RAM has gone down a lot in recent times. You can get two 4GB DDR4 RAM at high frequencies for just $40. That's really cheap compared to prices of RAM in the old times. So there is no reason for not picking up 8GB of memory if you're building a gaming PC in 2016. Also, most games don't require more than 8GB of memory. I know there are a lot of games that recommend 16GB of memory, but I haven't seen any improvement in FPS when moving from 8 to 16. Most of the times there is no difference and some games vary by 2 to 3 FPS. So spending the extra dollars for 2 to 3 FPS on RAM will not be the best option. You should look to spend that on your GPU if you want the best gaming experience. Also try getting a higher frequency memory if you are using a CPU like the Core i3 instead of getting 16GB of memory. In CPU bounded scenarios, higher frequency memory does help to attain a better stable FPS. To know more about that, click on that eye icon or check the link in the description. But if you're looking to stream games, do video editing, rendering, 3D model or do other stuff while gaming, then you should consider upgrading to 16GB of memory. Video editing applications consume a lot of memory. So if you're a professional video editor or PC gamer who looks to stream or do other stuff during gaming, then you should consider getting 16GB of RAM. This will help both in video editing and gaming. I don't think you should consider getting more than 16GB of memory if you are building a gaming PC now. Rather, I should say don't buy more than 8GB of memory and spend the extra bit on your GPU. That should help you get better FPS compared to spending it on the memory. On the other hand, if you are a professional video editor, then 16GB will be helpful. But then again, consider spending the most of your budget on the CPU first. CPU alone is the most important part in video editing and rendering. After spending most of the money on the CPU, then you should consider getting 16GB of memory. Also, if you are in a budget, then you can get 8GB of memory for video editing and rendering as well. So if you're a gamer, consider getting 8GB of memory and spend the rest of the money on your GPU. And if you're a video editor, consider spending most of the money on CPU and then spend in getting 16GB of memory. I hope this video helps you to understand how much RAM do you need for your PC. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I reply to every single comments. Also, if you found the video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to help me cultivate a better PC gaming community with videos like this. I'm AbsTechie and see you later.